Good morning, everyone. Welcome to JDB's Morning Cap. Um, we're gonna start this show a little bit late because I had to knock out some stuff. So um, I was gonna do a lengthy episode today, but we're gonna keep it short today because it's close to 12 in the afternoon. And I don't want to start the show right at noon. I do between mornings is from 8 I don't know. If I do the morning show, I could start around 7 a.m. through 11 a.m. So luckily it's close to 11 o'clock in the morning. So I just want to do every segment for for so we're gonna do women's Final Four for 10 minutes. We're gonna do Thunder Pistons recap for 5 minutes. We're gonna do NBA MVP race heating up for 10 minutes, and then we'll do NFL referee replacements for 8 minutes. So we're not going to take any of these breaks at all. So I want to get started right now. So women's Final Four bracket is revealed. So women's Final Four will start this Friday. We have 4 number 1 seeds into the Final Four for the second year in a row. Not only that, all Texas, UCLA, UCONN, and South Carolina are in the Final Four for the second consecutive year. For the first time in women's college basketball history, the 4 teams have the same matchup of the Final Four as last year, and then later this year, then 1 year later, these teams meet again this Friday. So UConn is defending women's national champions. So UConn remains undefeated. So if South Carolina couldn't somehow win this game, then they have a chance to win the title once again. So UConn South Carolina game, this has got to be the most legendary. This is the most legendary matchups in the history of the sport. For UConn head coach Gino Auriemma. Yeah, is Gino Auriemma the winningest coach in UConn history? Dawn Staley, the winningest head coach in South Carolina Gamecocks history. We have 2 most iconic coaches in women's basketball. But Dawn Staley is the best. Dawn Staley is the best coach in women's college basketball today. I mean, he's won championships. He's made the most Final Four appearances as a head coach with the late Pat Summitt. It was part of it. There's so many great women's head coaches over the decades. It is really pretty much hindering from here on out. But South Carolina UConn game is going to be really excited for the women's Final Four this Friday. I am so looking forward to that. Women's Final Four and National Championship for women's will be located in Phoenix, Arizona. So between April 3rd and April 5th, women's Final Four is April 3rd, women's national championship April 5th. So we'll find out who goes to the national championship. South Carolina won their game last night. They defeated TCU 78-52. They took care of business, despite the game was close, and then they ran away down the stretch. So the other Elite Eight day two was Texas and Michigan. Texas took care of business. They dominate Michigan 77-41, which means Texas will face UCLA in the women's Final Four as well. So we have 4 number 1 seeds squaring off. We have Texas team is even better. UCLA team is even better. We know both UConn and South Carolina are the top 2 best teams in women's basketball, in women's college basketball. I mean, but the big story is Texas and UCLA. The two underrated teams, Texas versus UCLA. We have UCLA's high-power offense versus Texas stout defense in women's college basketball. Texas has one of the best defensive efficiency in women's college basketball. UCLA is one of the best offensive ratings in women's college basketball. UCLA has a better guard play. Texas has better size. So there's a lot of things that can really support it. That we can put everything your exemption. So if that's the case, nothing else will matter. So I'm gonna save my predictions until Thursday. So I'm gonna keep that thing in mind. All right, we're gonna move on from this one. Let's start with the Thunder and the Pistons. Thunder won 2 days ago against the Knicks. Yesterday, Thunder had 59 wins entering yesterday's game. Pistons were 54-20 entering that game. So last night was an incredible finish once again. Let's talk about the final seconds of the fourth quarter. The game was deadlocked at 101-101. And then originally, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander delivers a game-winning three-point jump shot with 4 seconds left to play, but the referee waved Shai Gilgeous-Alexander three-point shot, game-winning made three-pointer off because SGA surrendered an offensive foul to Javonte Green. Pistons got the ball back. And then Dennis Jenkins has a chance to stun the Thunder on the road for a three-point jump shot. It didn't. The three-point jump shot did not make it. So game ended up tying 101 after the regulation. And then the Thunder able to put something together in overtime. And then they held off the Pistons in overtime 114-110. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finished 47 points. He could have had 50 last night if it wasn't for his offensive foul. He made 21 free throws out of 25 tries at the line. So he was almost all alone last night. Second most points he scored for the Thunder is A.J. Mitchell. He had 14 points. He had 2 steals as well. Pistons, there was some decent contributions yesterday. Dennis Jenkins had 15 points. Kevin Huerter had 17. Javonte Green had 19. Paul Reed led the team with 21 points last night and 10 rebounds. He had a double-double. And he also blocked 4 shots. So pretty impressive performance. 6 for 8 at the line. So pretty impressive performance for Paul Reed for the Detroit Pistons. Unfortunately, the reason why they lost, they committed 16 turnovers. But both Pistons and Thunder are a high-level defensive teams. Their two teams are both one of the high-level elite defensive teams in the league. Thunder picks up their 60th win of the year. They're now 60 and 16. 60 and 16 record for the Thunder. Pistons dipped to 54 and 21. They still have a chance to hold on to the number 1 seed. The Pistons battles the Raptors back at home today. If the Pistons could clinch the Central Division with a win, or the Cavaliers lost today. Cavaliers deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. I'll recap that game tomorrow. Mitchell versus Doncic. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. All right, let's move on to this. Speaking of which, NBA MVP races is heating up. We got so many things we're going to talk about. There's so many guys who love to play the game right now. Who's in the MVP race right now in the NBA? Right now it's SGA, Victor Wembanyama, and Nikola Jokic. And I put Jaylen Brown in the mix as well, despite the fact he's missed his last 2 games. But who's going to be the MVP conversation, and who do you think who wants to win? Who do you think who's going to win the MVP? Who's going to win the MVP? We're going to find out. So if I would get to pick, I got to pick SGA. Last year he was good. This year is even better. And Thunder, another 60-plus win season. That's 2 in a row now. Now they're just 3 wins away for back-to-back seasons with under 20 losses. They could finish the season the best record in the NBA. They need 3 wins and they need 2 Spurs losses. If Spurs lose the next 2 games, if Thunder wins the next 3, the Thunder will clinch the best record in the NBA as we reach the final moments of the NBA season, of the regular season, before the play-in tournament arrives here. So now we're here. As for Victor Wembanyama, the Spurs, another win column yesterday. They took care of business against the Bulls. Victor Wembanyama with a 40.6, 10-plus rebound double-double. He had 41 points and 16 rebounds. Wemby, it has been unbelievable. Victor Wembanyama is Kyle Raleigh of the NBA. Victor Wembanyama is Kyle Raleigh of the NBA. I mean, it's really clutch to say how great is Victor Wembanyama. They got a team. The Spurs got a team. Are they a championship caliber team? I believe so. I trust the Spurs. I trust Victor Wembanyama going to the postseason. If Victor Wembanyama plays well in the postseason, suit yourself. And if that's the case, then you can make your own differences. And that's what really happens right now. So, I cannot agree with you more in this one. So, there's nothing else you can really take that. You can't take anything for granted. And that's about it. And then Nikola Jokic, I love him to death, but I don't think he's going to win the MVP. He missed a lot of time few months ago might hurt his chances. Denver's too up and down to me. Denver is too up and down. If that's the case, then you wouldn't have that. So that will be that. All right, so we're going to move on to this, our final segment. The NFL referee replacement could return in upcoming season because the regular referee's contract, the regular referee's negotiation is looming. So I'm going to ask the question. Do you think the NFL replacement referee is going to get better or is it going to get worse? Technically, it's going to get worse. I mean, right now, we have not had an NFL lockout in 14 years. It's been 14 years since it happened, a lockout. Last time we had an NFL lockout, as far as referees stepping away due to negotiation issues, we gotta go back to when LeBron won his first career NBA title representing Miami Heat. We have to go back to the controversial touchdown between the Seahawks and Packers. Seahawks won that game. Won't just lock the entire teams out, the whole damn thing. Won't just lock out the entire damn team. We can't have replacement referees, just lock out everyone. I know Roger Goodell can't do that because we're going to waste our damn money. We're going to waste the money like that, man. I don't give a crap. It's tough right now. You're wasting your time. It's tough to hinder. But this is going to be that. And if that's the case, then you expanded it. Right now, if you had to do something with it, what would you do? What would you do with it? Nothing. We talk about NFL replacement referees. Talk about spending time and money. You can't waste the whole damn thing. You can't waste that. Nothing. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. We talk about controversial calls, replay assists, and all that kind of stuff. They need help. Won't just lock out the whole thing and settle their differences. But they can't do that. Everyone has signed. Everybody has made a new roster. They can't do that. Let this thing play out. If they do an NFL lockout once again, boy, this is going to be a long season. 2012-2013 season, this has got to be the worst year in the history of the NFL because the replacement referees. The worst year in the NFL history was 2012-2013 season. That's terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. All right, so what's coming up? Tomorrow's JDB's morning cap. as we're going to close out just a short episode. Tomorrow we'll talk more NBA. We'll talk Cavs and Lakers. We're going to talk about more NFL replacement referees. We will continue to do that tomorrow. And then we'll talk about Super Bowl location reveal in 2029 and all that stuff. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. Okay? That's enough from me. This is JDB's Morning Cap. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm sorry this is a short episode. So we'll see you tomorrow and enjoy your day.